Out here with my dogs, Bullet, Ted T, and a Tasmanian Femnut. Um, Chasing lizards. It's a nice, cool day. This is what folks come out here to live for. Uh, the retirees. These dogs love coming out. Uh, Being in the desert, running around. They have a sense of wanting to do something, you know, to please their masters. So I bring them out back and they get a run in. They chase lizards and birds, and I hadn't got into any snakes yet, which is good. Right where I am in this area, there's a whole lot of snakes come out and about here. Killed a few myself. Uh, Normally wouldn't kill them if I didn't have to, but since there's an abundance of them, they come out right to my community, which is just right above the area there, around the corner, and uh, those snakes come out there and get in the backyard, bitten by dogs and kids and things. So the more that are not nearby, the better. So I do a duty. Some people don't like that. They don't like my tactics. It's all right. You got like nothing about nobody. So I'm out here doing getting my due diligence exercise for my body, my mind, trying to do the best I can to keep it real. Um, I've been up and down, up and down lately with my stomach upsetting, having some serious medical stuff, and that brings me into my retirement of 214 with the Army for medical conditions, combat related issues. The Veterans Health Administration is neglecting to treat me for these conditions. I am advocating for myself. I am one of these soldiers that have been in the forgotten field, slipped down through the cracks, should I say? And so I've been stigmatized by a sense of fraudulency. That's right. Once the VA federal government uh, has pasted a label on you, it's very difficult for yourself to get out of that label unless you have some help. You cannot battle the federal government by yourself, folks. If you think you can, I'd like to see you do it. And call me, give me a call, give me a holler, give me an email, something telling me you did it. A lot of times it's a cut and dry situation. If you have done it, cancerous situations where you can prove, you were gotten worse and because they didn't do certain things, you got them for it. That stuff, it happens, right? It happens with everybody, not just the federal government. But if you're in my situation, right, where they labeled me fraudulent and they have no reason to label me fraudulent, if they have any reasons, they are very redundant reasons. They are very non applicable reasons to my case. They're just things that somebody messed up on. They want to cover their asses. So I'm advocating for myself, and that's what I do on these videos. Most of the time, I present it. I try to get people to help me out, and that's what I do on these videos. I don't make any progress with it. Oh well, at least I recorded some of this stuff, and nobody wants to move and groove with me. Well, then so be it. I'll do it myself, which I've done everything already. So don't need no help. Don't need nobody's help. But it'd be nice to get some. I tell you that much. Um, so here I am, doing the deed, out in the middle of the desert, doing fun stuff. People want to hear about. They don't want to hear about problems. They don't want to know about problems unless the problem's at your front door, knocking on your front door. Well, then then it's a problem, right? Yeah, then it's a problem. I like Say in the old west, I beg to differ. Let's see in the Tasmanian Tamanite. So I want to talk about the border issues. I tried to talk about the other day. I did okay, but I was having some serious abdominal issues, and I got some pancreatitis, which I am blaming on the VA at this point for acquiring. Um, and I'm close to proving it and not proving it. So why not put it on there, right? Yeah, it's what you do. You had it. Families don't have it. Nobody has it. So where else would it come from? That's right. And since the government wants to deny everything I'm doing, headache. Oh, now you didn't get that from me. We don't know where that came from. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and put it down because you guys are just completely ignoring me. All right. I got a stub toe. Oh, no, no, the government did it. So that's what you guys get. And that's the way the battle's going to go. All right. But I do have a fact of a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to discuss that in these videos. It's been a lazy day for me, which is good. I'm trying to get some rest. I catch up on it with, you know, just being me. You take a lot of medication. It wears down on you after a while. Um, Sometimes your brain's got to have enough downtime. Yeah, you know, especially if you're on like stuff like opioids and things that are uh, triggering your brain for energy and things like that. Yeah, you get tired. So, but the opioid for me is a good evil, and I'll be tired some days. I'm medically retired, so I got to do what I got to do for my own health to keep myself living for as long as people would like to live. Um, let's see. So I'm out here. I got desert dogs out there. hmm And so part of the other border issue that we have here in the United States, see, that's part of the other problem that I have to point out because when you watch the news, right? When you get watching the news, and this is watching the news at any time. If you just turn on the news, it don't matter what time it is. Some people are better than others on the news, and sometimes you get a little more information than not on the news if you wanted to. But um, uh, other times you're not going to get detailed information about what you need to know about the news. The news is just going to give you the highlights because they're only on there for so long unless they're doing you're watching you're in school in a school setting. You're getting a lecture, you're listening to a lecture or something. Well, news ain't a lecture. It's collectively a lecture, but it's a whole bunch of different stuff, and they got to fit everybody in. So, in detail of border issues, which I've been on the border, I've worked border issues. All right, so you can take it from me if you want, or you cannot take it. Um, I've had the privilege of working with Homeland Security under the Army, and from what I learned is true. There is a fight between the union and the non-union, and the fight is every single day because it's all about labor, and it's all about what you do versus what I do versus what we do, right? You got people who aren't allowed to work and do certain things in their job due to union rules and regulations, and then you got other people who are regular civilians giving their gusto everything they got, and they're able to do and not do things. So when you swish those two things together and they're both working under the same umbrella, you're going to have some problems. Right? So that's you won't hear that on the news, right? All you hear is like, well, we shouldn't have a problem with that. Well, we shouldn't have a problem with a lot of things, but that's not what the truth is. And that's part of a big part of the truth is that the other part of the truth is when things are already done in I don't want to say acquisition. I want to say in part of when uh, immigrants come across our border illegally and they are already in the society of our system. Okay, they somehow manage to cross over and not get caught and get into the social aspects of our society. Well, that isn't just a few people. It isn't a lot of people. It's a ganga amount of people. Man, if y'all only knew. You know, you hear about it now. This is all old news, folks. All the stuff you're hearing is old news, except it's being used right now for political reasons. You know, Trump wants to use it. And I'm not saying, you know, if anybody's going to deserve it, it's going to be Trump. Trump should be able to use it because he's doing something about it, right? More than most people have, I'll tell you that much. And this is coming from me being on the border and giving you the truth about what's going on the border. All right. And plus, once the people, immigrants have come into this country, our country, what's there to say that all these immigrants are going to become doctors and lawyers? You tell me why they aren't. Okay. Most of the time, if they're going to be held up immigrants, I mean, if they're going to be top-notch immigrants to help our country, the United States of America, and be American citizens, they're going to become low-level um, um, folks um, that do hard work that go, you know, this is kind of the jobs they get that are very what do they call these jobs? They're very unthankful jobs. You know, but somebody's got to do them. You know, nurses and garbage people and you know things that don't require like a 4 or 10 year degree. You know, I'm beyond the 4 year degree, but you know, the 6 to 10 year degree and all this experience and legal matters and things to become like a doctor and an attorney and a whole bunch of these high end jobs that we should be getting here, producing here. Most of them do these nursing jobs, you know. They do they sweep the floors. They pick up after professionals, and we try to give them some sort of legitimacy and high ranking status by saying, "Oh, you're a registered nurse." You know, well, what do registered obviously do? Yeah, they help out, but they're more or less, better in combat related situations, where they can act like doctors. But then again, when you're in combat related situations, everybody's a damn RN nurse. You better be able to save somebody's life or you ain't no good. Other than that, y'all been to the hospital. You guys see what nurses do. I get pissed off when I hear about nurses being heroes. Y'all can disagree with me on that, and I expect you to disagree with me on that. But they are not heroes. Heroes for what? What have they done to get a hero status? Hero statuses don't come easy, folks. And you're going to give it to a nurse? Well, if you're going to give it to a nurse, you might as well give it to everybody else that thinks they deserve a hero status. Hardly people in the military who've gotten hero status, a hero status don't want it. They're bound by other means of being appreciated, of giving to their country. A hero medal won't do anything compared to what they've been through, right? That's the way I see it. Now, in saying that, that's different from getting medical help. Okay, now don't get it confused, because if you're being neglected medical help, then that needs to be addressed. Okay, there's no medal involved in getting the medical help. Right? There's only a status that comes with it, but the medical help is pretty much on its own. All right. So if you have a nurse that's willing to help you with your medical status and not want to be a hero, which I find it completely absurd, then so be it. Let them do their job. That's the whole point. It's the job, not the status. It's the job. And if you don't want to do the job and you feel underappreciated, then go do something else. Our country gives you the freedom to do that. It sure do. Well, I can't do that. I got 10 kids. And I got, well, that's too bad. Well, I want to have kids. Well, the United States government ain't in charge of you having kids, is it? We can go on and on with this argument, people. On and on and on. So, being in the immigration field for a while, immigrants come over. All right. They come over in troves. I don't use that word because I've been hearing it lately. They come in gulps. All right. And lately they've been coming in small towns of people, right? Thousands and thousands of people in one swoosh. Now, a lot back in the day when they didn't have the border patrol didn't have that kind of people coming over. They called those tsunamis, a tsunami of people. They come and just rush the border and see who they can catch, because eventually they're going to only catch so many. Right, the rest get away. Well, that's kind of what's happening now, except that they're coming over because of the political venue we are exposing ourselves, or we have exposed ourselves to, which is the Biden administration. People have, in guys can go yourself. You guys can go yourself and ask these people in Guatemala and everywhere else these people are coming from. Why are you coming? Them and the ones who are more in tune to be educated about why, they're going to tell you what they've been hearing, and they're going to say, because the administration that's in office right now, they do less to help the border patrol fight people coming across the border, and they're going to allow us to have some sort of amnesty, wishy-washy amnesty. So we're all going to come. Once you pass that note around people, it's a real thing. All right, they're going to come. All right. So those of you bleeding heart people who think every border should be open, why don't you go talk to all the people who have closed borders right now? And that's about 95% of border closed people, except for people who don't have absolutely nothing to their country, no resources, no means of security. Why would they need a border, right? Well, if that's where you want to live, then be gone with you, right? You ain't going to do that. You're not going to go anywhere. You're just going to bitch, complain about being don't no war, no, let everybody in, free health care, free stuff, free money, free this, free that, and then you're going to regulate how hard people should work, how hard people should learn how to respect each other, how hard people should do certain things. Well, you're full of shit. All right, you get into the full of shit bucket and you stay there. All right, go to Canada. They'll love you there. I told you, I wish we could swap, one for one. One person who don't want to live in Canada, that leans more to the right, wants to do, be in a uh, um, um, in America for working hard, commerce, putting into the system, we want that. We'll be more than happy to change for you guys. You guys can live up in Canada and watch butterflies all day for all we care. When you guys need some help, don't call us. Okay, call your butterflies, right? Call your butterfly friends, right? Call the people who want to continue in their system, like the Russians and the Chinese and the Koreans and everybody else that surrounds us. Go to Mexico. Mexico don't like to hear, but I tell you what, Mexico ain't doing too well these days, are they? Yeah, I know. That's too bad. You know, they wanna they wanna play this little push to come shove game, but it's all gonna end soon, you guys. Yeah, it's all gonna end soon, and we're gonna have somebody, either Trump or somebody like Trump, in office, and we're all gonna get you guys down to where you belong, right? So, But people come across the border, right? And they have to in some form they have to assimilate. Okay, they have to want to follow the rules. But see, they come from lawless countries. Okay, and I don't care what a Mexican tells you. No, we got some laws, or not. Shut up. You don't come from the best lawless country in the world, so you can't compare yourself to us. No one can. All right. So what they do is they come and they're like cells, like a cell, like a terrorist cell. Yeah. You can be all sorts of things when you come over here and you create a whole nother culture. You know, you could you plant yourself in our country. I've seen it done, folks. So you call them, you say, "Hey, I want to start selling drugs because I'm just the again the Mexicans. We're being unjustly treated here in the United States and all this bullshit, right?" And so then they start selling drugs, and then now we have another drug dealer born that who is more than likely going to sell drugs anyways. And if, as I said, the few that do want to do better, join the service and become part of our society, those are far few between people. You cannot count them. Okay, so the majority of the people are overshadowing. Like my brain TBI was overshadowed by my back injury. The immigrants are overshadowing the system here, right? Because they want a better life. That's all. Well, we can't give them a better life. It's always good. In America, we have people saying, "I wish I could have a better life," right? So you argue to yourself with that. I know what the real deal is. So people come over and they will position themselves to do bad and good. Majority of them, right? They want to try to assimilate, but once they find out that it's too hard and it's harder than where they come from because they didn't do shit when they're in their country, what are you gonna do? Guy's gonna go work at Target? Nah, Target in Mexico, and if there is, a far few between the workers that work there and in major city. But most of Mexico is corrupt. Anything that happens is cartel knowledge. And so you're going to have that sort of type of people who come to our country and position themselves to become drug dealers, things that we didn't want them to, but it's going to be a facade. And that's the majority of what you get. Right. And that's what we get. We don't get doctors. We don't get lawyers. We don't get people who want to go to school, who want to struggle to help the United States out. We don't get those folks. No. So you got to stop people from coming into our country, people. The way you vet, the way you vet people to coming into your business, to coming into our country, to coming to your party, to coming into your family, to coming. You got to vet the people to being politicians, to vote into with it. We have to vet them, and one way to do it is do it legally through the immigration system. All right. So that's my take on the border, and you guys take your chances with Mexicans. Hey, I ain't afraid of no Mexicans, and they can come over and cartel running 24/7. Well, I got something for your 24/7 ass. That's right. You got people who are willing to die for a bullet just because they know no better. I'd be more than happy to take a few out. Damn right. Okay. And um, so we got to get back to rolling tough. All right. Once we got to start rolling tough, then the world will know. Don't mess with the United States. Don't even try. All right. You want to try? This was going to happen. And the thing here's the thing with I think people aren't getting all the information about the TikTok situation. So here's the thing with the TikTok. Okay, you're not going to hear this on the news. All right. So with TikTok, you want to know, right? People are confused about. Why are you trying to ban it? It helps my business. Why are you trying to ban it? It's about the people being free, and TikTok has opened up the language to overthrowing the media, and they're exposing all this stuff that you're not going to hear on regular Fox News and CNN and Newsmax and all these things, and people don't like it because that's what you hear right now. So that's obviously being pitched to the American people, right? That's what the pitch is, and that's coming from the people who want TikTok in our country, like communist China. All right, it's easy to understand, but you guys that feel like it's unjust somehow that the American people, the American government, are keeping you down is completely absurd, you guys. You look like a bunch of fools, and you need to get with it. So first of all, what you need to do is educate yourself, okay, and be true to it. Why don't we want something like TikTok? You got to get to the root of it. Well, it's coming from a communist country, which is owned by a communist country. And when we have a problem with the communist country, it involves everything, okay, not just TikTok, but electronics, goods, services, everything that comes from that country, we are now deemed to say, hey, we're going to stop doing business with you on that. We are so woven into a place like China, we don't even know what we're doing with them anymore. What we're receiving, what we're not receiving, what we're selling, what we're giving away, what we're buying, what we're teaching, anything. And so we have to start somewhere. So TikTok's a good place to start. And we've been doing this for a long time, people. And so since China, okay, is a communist country, China is building their nation upon the United States solely, mostly, I should say. And if you um, don't think that China can gather billions and billions of pieces of information on Americans, you're absolutely wrong. Okay, what they are learning is what the Japan people have said. Now, China wants to defy it. Now, Japan during World War II bombed, bombed um, um, uh, Hawaii, right? And in in um, in doing so, it bombed the United States, and in doing so, a lot of words come out of the Japanese emperor, right? By saying we have awoken a sleepy dragon. We cannot. We have noticed that if we were to attack the United States, we wouldn't do that because there's a weapon at every window and every door. There's a bunch of things that were said by the Japanese people in which had spread across the Asian country. All right. Now, in saying that, now that China is trying to take advantage of the United States, they want to defy what Japan has said about us, the United States. They want to see on TikTok how many people have weapons. They want to see how many people on TikTok are a bunch of pussies, who are a bunch of wussies, and who are a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing and trying to live off the system solely by doing the minimum as possible. See, China wants to beat us at every single thing. In order to invade the United States, you have to know the people here. You have to defy what Japanese said. There's a gun at every window and door. That was the post World War II era, right? And it lasted for a long time. And nowadays, you have a bunch of pussy-ridden people who don't want to defend the United States, and that's what China wants to see before they invade us, if they think they're going to invade us. And it's just one part, people. So you have to do something like help the United States out, not defy the United States all the time. Oh my God, we're being unjustly. Come on, you guys. We're doing the government is doing it for a reason, and they don't have to sit here and explain every single detail. You can read and write, and they do post it on their websites. Okay, but you got to get in there and read it, and you don't have the time. You know why? Because you're too busy being unjustly worked to death in our country. That's the way you feel. So shame on you, damn on you. The people who are reading it and who are defending this country, you don't give them a shit hoot anyways. So we'll do it what we have to do. All right. So shut up and go to bed. So that's the way I see that. All right. Let's see. What else can we talk about? There's my dogs. They're chilling. I'm out here giving them some exercise, as you can see. And it's been a lovely day, let me tell you. We got a little bit of wind. I like the wind and the heat. We got this cool breeze still coming through. It's been nice. Oh man, it's been beautiful. The kind of weather that puts you to sleep. I know. I know. And so here I am. I've been trying to build up my energy. As far as my health stuff goes, it gets worse and worse. A lot of more of my energy is easily depleted. I think my brain tries to salvage what it can as far as energy goes, you know. And yet, I'm doing this all on my own, people. Okay, the federal government has refused to medically evaluate me for all these things that are going on with me. Right? They refuse to do it. So that's why I have to get an attorney and fight them for it, and then maybe force them to listen to what I have to say. Right? Which is a damn shame because the federal government has said time and time again they will not leave a beaten soldier behind. And I have been beaten. Okay, I have been hurt and injured, and I'm down. And the federal government has deployed a stigma on me, thinking that I am defrauding the system in some way, form, or fashion. That's what they're saying. So shame on them. All right. And still, I protect my country. I don't need the federal government to help protect my country. Okay, I've been with the federal government to protect my country, but I don't need them. All right, I know how to protect my own. All right, if my own means I am in this country, then that's what it is. So, so I do the best I can with my health. In the meantime, you know, I come out here and I do the daily. I wish it was daily. I just don't have the energy to bring dogs out every single day. But they come out and they get their exercise. They sure do. It's peaceful. I wish I had the land to buy to give him more room to run in. It'd be nice to get out, let him run around, 5, 10, 20 acres of land, even more. Nice. I know, Tez. Teddy T, you look like a coyote T. You sure do. So that's my deal with TikTok. But you could think all you want, people. You could fight for all you think that you're being unjustly not being heard for. Okay. Sometimes there is somebody who is greater than you that want to protect you, and you just don't want to get it. You don't want to believe it, and it's too damn bad because if you were to put your foot in another soldier's foot and protect your country, those that have not, then you should do it and stop bitching and complaining. All right. Yeah. Um, Boy, but I know, but just listening to what we hear on the news these days, and things that are happening in around the world. You know, some of our bases are being bombed by Iran, and you know that situation. They just haven't given enough information. If y'all are following that situation where they Iran bombed, I think it was drone bombing. Not sure about it, but y'all follow up on it, and it'll show that there was a contractor hurt and an American. I think it was an army person. I'm not sure about that either, but two of them got hurt. And you know, there's the details of that aren't being told on the news because one, they don't know the details to connect enough information to give you, so they're just going to give you the highlights. You got to guess on your own. But from what I'm assuming, okay, this base, which was an American base, um, was either not set up properly, okay, and that's according to our leadership, which we have terrible leaders at this point. Um, it was in the beginning stages of not being having the implementation properly set up, and but yet still that imposes the threat of if you bomb an American base and we find out, see, this is what we're going to do. It could be so new that the information that's being sent around the world is that it's incorrect because of our leadership. And so now we're having a problem with our own leadership in our country, and that's creating a problem around the world, people. Right? We don't know who's in charge of what, who gave the orders, who's doing this. Everybody wants to be lottie dottie all over the place, and that's a bunch of bullshit. Because we damn know, and I damn well know, that when you set up a base, okay, whether you have one or two people standing in the 100 field acre and it's claimed as our base, there are things in place already to protect that one person. Right? And we will take action to do so. But not in this case. You guys hire Biden to take care of our national security, and you guys need to suck on that for a while. All right, too bad for you guys. All I know is, like I said, it comes down to it. I know how to protect my own. If you get in my way, whether you're an American or not, you are a threat to me. That is for sure. All right, so that's the situation on that. Where am I gonna park? Well, trying to find a shady spot. Oh well, guess I'm not gonna do a shady spot. So the other thing is, what's going on with this beating on Trump all the time now? I know it's a phenomenon, I tell you, right? Well, you know, um, I tell you, guys just giving more and more ammunition for Trump and the people with Trump for Trump to be the nominated Republican to be our president of the United States again. Yeah, it's stupid on your part, and you guys keep on playing that stupidity. Y'all learn someday. But Trump is spent on being the president of the United States, and he's gonna be it. DeSantis is not your guy. Right now, what you got is I'd like to ask DeSantis this, and you won't have a person ask DeSantis a question like this on TV. But I would. I'd say, DeSantis, are you gathering information on how Trump is going to attack you with what you think you can fight back with? That goes against you and everything Trump knows against you. So people don't ask that question, and the answer is I have nothing from DeSantis because DeSantis knows without Trump there wouldn't be a DeSantis, and Trump has the best information on DeSantis to make DeSantis have to over explain himself. And once DeSantis does that, he's done. Okay? I don't want a president who overspends himself, who overspeaks himself to try to explain themselves into a situation. Because when you do that, you collect only those amount of people who love that, you know, who love people to over explain themselves. Trump, he's not an over explainer. He says no means no. And that's what I want. That's who I want above me. Okay. It's like parents, right? When you're a parent, most of the time, no means no, right? But not all the time. And the more you go to the not all the time, the more you're voting for somebody like DeSantis. Okay. But when Trump is very simple about it. Hey, what? China, what? No, no. And that's the way it goes. And China wants to say, well, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, yeah, I'll let you know when it happens. And he does it. And it's just so beautiful. Okay. So do you guys want to be protected or not? This is not a question of, well, there's no well in that question. Do you want it or do you not want it? Damn right you want it. You can sit there and explain yourselves to death. It ain't going to help with that question. Do you want it or do you not want it? Of course you want it because everybody else wants it. And sometimes you yourself have to be told no, even as an adult. Hey, what? No. Mm-mm. And you follow your own consequences, which right now is what we're doing. We're making a lot of y'all look like a bunch of fools. And when you do look like a bunch of fools and you're labeled a fool, we're going to treat you like a fool because you are a fool. So, and there are fools out there. You wear the Joker's hat. So, not everybody's cool, you know? Not everybody can be cool. No. So, y'all done running over here because it's getting a little warm. I'm trying to find a shady spot. I know y'all burning up because Taddy T's in the shade over here. So that's what I got on Trump. A little bit of border issue there. I'm trying to find a shady spot up in this desert. That's the problem with the desert. You don't get a lot of shady spots. I'll tell you what, though. Also, I don't like being totally hot and it's hot and it's humid and you're underneath a bunch of trees and you can't get to a sunny, shady spot where you could dry out some of that humidity and get a little cool, warm at the same time. Well, so you can't do that here. You can. You can get out. I'm gonna be in the shade now, but I'm gonna get out in the sun because it's gonna get too cool in there. I'm gonna need a little heat. So I get out there. Oh, it's just so nice. You fall right asleep. I tell you, no humidity involved. I'm just checking my area to see if there's a snake running around here. All right. So I think I covered what I wanted to cover this morning, and I've had enough of you guys. So I'll check y'all out again, and we will see you once more. Maybe I'll have more energy to cover a lot more situations. Okay, time to go now, kids. Bye.